Hello everyone, my name is Nimit and I'm a medical student at the University of Toronto here in Canada. If you're trying to get into medical school, you've probably heard of what Casper is. You might have even heard that a fourth quartile in the Casper is the cream of the crop. We could give you the strategies that you need to get a fourth quartile, but what if we showed you these strategies in action? That's exactly why we created worksheets to help you on your Casper test and get you that fourth quartile that you're desperately looking for. In this video, we're also going to show you model answers of how to answer these questions using our worksheets. They're linked in the description below. These worksheets are truly unique and there really isn't anything like this out there. Our Casper videos are some of the best on the platform and you need to check these worksheets out.
So the first question we'll be going over is the personal question. These questions mainly ask you about a particular character trait that you displayed sometime in your life. For example, the type of question we'll be answering is the following. Describe a time where you had to refuse a friend's request for help. Normally, Casper breaks this type of question down into 3 separate questions. So consider this model answer as a way to approach this sort of scenario. You can even pick and choose what information you want to include in each question from this main model answer. If you want more specific answers, you can take a look at our worksheets because they break down exactly how we would answer personal, ethical, and policy questions, the other 2 types of questions we'll be talking about later in this video, so check them out. If you want to answer the question on your own before seeing our model answer, be sure to pause the video now and do the same for every other question we're going to be going over.
A time when I had to refuse to help a friend was when I was studying for my final exams and my friend asked me to create a website for him. I knew I had to prioritize my academics because that was the professional thing to do. And I knew that even if I were to help, I wouldn't be able to give all of my support to my friend. If I did not do a good job, there was even a chance that it could affect our friendship. Therefore, although it was difficult for me to say no to him, I ultimately had a conversation with him and explained my perspective, which he understood. I then referred him to a website where he could hire someone to do so while letting me focus on my exams. I learned the importance of communication in resolving conflicts.
So that was the model answer for the scenario. The reason why is because it introduces the scenario, then shows you how to resolve it in a mature way, and then also mentions a lesson that you learned at the end. Make sure you follow the exact format from our worksheets so you can do the same.
The second broad category of Casper questions is ethical questions. And these questions mainly give you some sort of moral dilemma and they ask you a bunch of questions related to it. Some may be more personal questions, but others, more commonly, may ask you how you would handle the situation or what you would do specifically. For these kinds of questions, knowing the fundamental principles of bioethics are very important for actually answering these questions effectively. And that's why we've actually created that Casper Fundamentals worksheet if you checked out that link, which will basically go over every single thing you need to know in order to answer these questions very effectively. We'll be focused on more common types of ethical questions in the following scenario. You are a member of a team and one of your group members is consistently not doing their share of work. So the question is, what would you do?
This is a difficult situation and the most important concern is being as accommodating as possible for my team members while also ensuring that the work is fairly distributed. I would handle this in a non-confrontational, non-judgmental manner because there could be many reasons as to why my team member isn't able to complete their work. They may have personal issues going on in their life, they may have competing priorities, they may not understand the assignment, or they simply might not want to do the work. Regardless, I would speak to the group member in a private setting to learn why they are unable to complete their work. I would provide them with guidelines and as many resources as possible to help them, such as mental health aids if necessary. If the member continues to struggle, I would discuss this with the rest of my team so that we may all be able to meet with the professor and discuss a possible extension to the timeline. If not, then we could inquire about possible alternatives about what could be done about the group member. Through this, we may be able to come to a conclusion that is most fair to everyone.
In this question, we need to remain open-minded and we need to explore all the different perspectives so that the examiner knows that we're capable of this. This is probably one of the most important aspects of the Casper exam and demonstrating this skill is really, really important. You can find this format in our worksheets.
The third and final type of question is the policy questions. They essentially ask you for your opinion on some sort of policy and for you to argue both sides. Like with ethical questions, your main focus for these types of questions is to first of all display your understanding of the issue, explain that you know both sides, and finally pick a stance. For these kinds of questions, typing speed is very important, and that's why we've created a typing schedule for you in one of our worksheets that you can use to track your word per minute growth and actually consistently get better at typing. To exemplify a policy question, we're going to talk about the following. What is your opinion on giving out participation awards in schools?
Giving out participation awards to students in school is a debated topic because of its complex effects on the students as well as the schools themselves. Some pros to this situation are that, first of all, it provides the students with a sense of accomplishment regardless of their performance. Secondly, it may incentivize more students to participate in these events, potentially helping the school secure more sponsorships for these events in the future. Some cons to this situation are that it might reduce the level of competition, and at the same time, it might be expensive to create so many participation trophies for schools, which could be better put towards buying better technology, for example. My stance is that the pros outweigh the cons, but to save money, participation trophies should be converted into cheaper alternatives such as certificates or medals.
For policy questions, as we showed, you need to approach this in a thoughtful way and really show both sides, even if it seems really trivial. It's important that you mention an equal number of pros and cons for each side because that shows that you're not biased towards one side. Also, a bonus is something that you might want to consider, which is to add why this policy is important in the first place. That really shows that you can think beyond the question.
And that brings us to the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you guys want more information on how we answer Casper style questions, be sure to check out those worksheets in the description below. Thank you very much and see you next time.